Hi, I'm Erik Voss, and Avengers Endgame has a new update about the fate of a major character, Miss Pepper Potts, and perhaps Tony Stark too. Gwyneth Paltrow took some precious time away from redefining wellness to say that Endgame will be her final movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So she dead? Hashtag spilled the pepper confirmed? There's actually a lot to dig into here. Stuff that ties together with some moments that we might have overlooked in Infinity War, and some cryptic theories about Pepper Potts in Endgame. So spoiler warning in Life at Casey Ruin. That one's for you, dyslexics. Okay, Paltrow recently told Variety that Avengers Endgame would be her last Marvel film, saying she's a bit too old to be in a suit and all that at this point, but that she would be willing to come back for a day for a cameo in a future film. Oh man, this is some hot gas. So let's break it all down with the... No, this isn't technically a tweet down. It's a full quote in an interview in a major publication, so... Sure, whatever. So this being Paltrow's final film as Pepper Potts leads to 4 theories for what could happen in Avengers Endgame and Marvel Phase 4 beyond. Theory 1, Pepper Potts dies, and so does Tony Stark. Paltrow might have added this whole future cameo option in her interview to like backpedal from the finality of her first statement. Like I could imagine some publicist in the corner whispering, "You might come back, right? Oh crap, Holland and Ruffalo are in the junket next door. Rah!" Avengers Endgame will probably be the final movie for several longtime MCU characters. And Pepper is among the ones who have been there since the beginning. And if she leaves this world, I feel like it could be in a circumstance in which Tony Stark would too. Like sure, I could see a scenario where Pepper dies and then a still alive Tony Stark is further mobilized to avenge her, but think about it, Tony already has many tragic losses to avenge. Adding Pepper to that death pile would be overkill. Even though my gut instinct really changes week to week, right now I'm thinking that the odds might be better in favor of Stark's survival, and that would go for Pepper too. So I think we're looking at another possible fate. Theory 2! Pepper and Tony retire. Retirement's like death, but only in terms of your function in society. We've been getting more and more evidence that Iron Man will survive the events of Endgame, but that he might not be as active in this Marvel world anymore. In the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, which is confirmed to take place after Endgame, there are some characters who reference Iron Man without any sense of sadness or mourning, and Pepper Potts' name does show up on a charity check from Stark Industries, but Iron Man also doesn't seem to be around to help Spider-Man, with Happy Hogan indicating that Peter's on his own now, and Nick Fury having to trust his remaining eye on a new person.
Last time I trusted someone.
Now get out of here. So we could be looking at a post-Stark world in which he's just retired, and not just ending of Iron Man 3 retired, like maybe the events of Endgame will force Tony Stark to permanently retire, like part of some bargain to save the fallen could require the old man to hang up the arc reactor for good. Early in Avengers Infinity War, Tony and Pepper talk about his return from retirement, competing with his desire to settle down and build a family. Pepper hinted that she wasn't pregnant in that scene, but Paltrow has said in past interviews that they have a child on the way. This is before Infinity War came out, but they shot Infinity War and Endgame at the same time, so maybe Paltrow was referring to some epilogue scene in Endgame in which she and Tony have settled down with a kid. Actually, when you rewatch that scene at the beginning of Infinity War, a new possible interpretation begins to emerge.
Last night, I dreamt we had a kid. So real. We named him after your eccentric uncle. What was his name?
Right.
Morgan.
What if this dream that Tony had was actually a vision, a memory rippling from another timeline? Theory 3! Tony and Pepper live on in an alternate timeline. Avengers Endgame will most likely feature some kind of timeline meddling, either through time travel or multiverse hopping, something using the chaotic physics of the quantum realm. Check out any number of past videos that we made on this subject. Perhaps Tony Stark's vivid dream of having a child with Pepper is actually a real memory echoing from another reality, a new timeline of events that will be created through the events of Endgame. The Avengers lost to Thanos could all just be part of a darkest timeline. Hashtag darkest timeline, please come see my show. A darkest timeline that Iron Man and the rest will have to erase or rewrite, with a new happy ending timeline in which Tony and Pepper have this kid, Morgan Stark. And Morgan is an interesting name option because it can be a boy or a girl's name. And Catherine Langford has been reportedly cast in an unknown role in Endgame, maybe maybe it's Morgan Stark, the future teenage daughter of Tony and Pepper. That way, the Iron Man mantle could live on with a new generation. But there's another way the Iron Man legacy could live on that could explain why Paltrow and Pepper are retiring from the MCU. Theory 4. Pepper Potts moves up to a new super role. There's another scene early in Infinity War with Pepper that might give us a clue of her role in Endgame. Notice when Tony tries to communicate with her after boarding Ebony Maw's Q-ship, Pepper's last words to him are kind of interesting.
I don't know what to
Come
say.
back here, Tony. I swear to God,
Pep.
come back here right now. Come back. Boss, we're losing her. I'm going to...
Going to what? Hashtag Pepper Potts going to Disneyland confirmed? In that first Endgame trailer, Tony did drop another interesting line.
Being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds.
You see, Rescue is the name Pepper Potts goes under in the comics when she fills in for Tony with her own armor and, as the name Rescue implies, conducts a series of rescue-based and humanitarian missions. Paltrow's recent Variety interview included the cryptic detail that she felt too old to be in the suit. Maybe she was referring to that time when she wore the armor in Iron Man 3, or maybe she's referencing the new armor that she was seen wearing in a leaked Endgame wardrobe photo. Or maybe she's referencing an upcoming Goop article titled, "Ladies, hang up those blazers by 40. But it sounds like Pepper Potts will play more of an active role in Endgame than she has in past Marvel appearances. She could become a rescue figure, putting out fires in a far-off corner of the globe, kind of like War Machine / Iron Patriot has been described doing in the past. Or she could run off and join the Nova Corps, or the Star Force, some superheroic gig that takes her far away and lets her return for the occasional cameo. Which fate do you want Pepper Potts to have in Endgame and in Phase 4? Comment down below with your thoughts and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at EA Voss and subscribe to this channel, New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you live in the LA area, come check out my nerdy, goofy comedy show, Darkest Timeline Comedy, Friday, March 1st, and every first Friday at the Acme Comedy Theater in North Hollywood. Ticket info in the description below. Thank you for watching. Now let's keep refreshing Goop to see if a rescue armor suit shows up for sale. Only costs $36 million. That's a steal.